damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I see you. I feel you. Glad you're here. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 4 p.m. on the East Coast. Central and Mountain, who cares? It's Wednesday, hump day. When I was a kid, before I knew what that meant, I was like, hump day? Why is everybody, that's gross, like humping? I'm like, why is everybody okay with saying hump out loud? But that wasn't it. That's not what hump day means. But not only is it the middle of the week, and I hope this week has been merciful to you. I hope it's going by quick and painlessly. But also tonight, 7 p.m., Double Impact. I put a link under community on my YouTube page. That's where every week we talk about in depth. We talk about 80s and 90s action movies. And since it's October, we're doing like scary type movies, not scary movies, not horror movies, Jason or Freddy. But we did Blade, The Crow last week, and this week we're doing Aliens, the sequel. So I'm actually in the middle of watching it right now. When I'm done here, I will finish it off. I like to keep it fresh in my mind. But yeah, we're checking that out so far. And I've never seen Aliens. I've never seen the first one or the second one. The first one I saw, I think, was the third one. Was it? It's the one that came out in the 90s where the light-skinned dude got acid on his face. That was the first one that I saw. I knew about it, but I never watched it. So this will be my first time watching Aliens. We're to the part where, spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen it yet either, we're to the part where they just found Newt, the little girl that's a little girl, right? Who's been hiding there after everybody got killed. And they just got to the planet or the whatever it's called. And they just found the little girl. So that's the part I'm at. I haven't seen the Aliens yet. Looking forward to it. A lot of good actors in there. Bill Paxton's in there. The dude who played Reese from Terminator's there. The mom from Terminator 2, the stepmom who put her arm. Well, actually, she got taken over by, or she got copied by the T-1000 liquid metal. She got copied by him. So if you get copied, you get terminated. So she got terminated. Remember, her husband was bitching. He was drinking milk, and she goes like this, and her arm turns into a big blade and went through his mouth, and he's up against the wall like that. She's in it. Who else? One of the guys from Lethal Weapon 2, he's in it. A lot of famous actors, a lot of good actors in it. Happy so far. We'll be tackling that one tonight, 7 p.m., Double Impact with my man Gabe and Shant, two amazing artists. Like I said, YouTube page under community. People, you saw that thumbnail. What a nightmare. And with my thumbnails, I'm going for the most outrageous thing, whatever it's about. Like that one, it says, this is not for all ages. And it's true, because apparently in Plano, Texas, there was an all ages drag show at a restaurant. Ugh. That's what makes you want to eat food, huh? A dude dressed up as a cartoonish version of a woman dancing to a song that has the P-U-S-S-Y word repeatedly in it. Making me hungry right now. But that's not for all ages. That's for one age, 18 and over. And if it's inside of a bar, you got to be 21 and over. Notice the part where I said, and over. Not and under, and over. Meaning it's for adults, not kids. That shit's weird. Their mind isn't ready to wrap itself around that. Some of our adult minds aren't ready to wrap itself around that. I didn't know. I thought growing up until the last few years, I thought drag queens were a form of entertainment. I thought a bachelor party, a bunch of girls go out and they get drunk and they go watch a drag show. Am I wrong? Or is that not who drag queens were performing for? Never in my life. And I've done a lot of partying. I've done a lot of hanging out. I've done a lot of going out with my boys. And never once did one of them say, hey, fellas, let's go to a drag show. Never. And if they did, you know what would happen to them. They would be ridiculed and insulted for the rest of their life. Every time we got together, we would find a way to bring up the time that so-and-so suggested we go to a drag show. That doesn't happen to guys, straight guys, gay guys. Do you guys go to drag shows? I was under the impression that drag shows were for women. Not anymore. Drag shows have been weaponized. Now they're aiming that heavily made up, wig wearing, tucking gun at our children, both barrels. But don't worry, guys. Don't have to go off of my opinion and my thoughts. I got proof. It's on tape. And I warn you, before we watch that footage, I hope you didn't eat, hope you don't have anything in your stomach, and don't have anything in your mouth. Because whatever is in your mouth, liquid, food, or otherwise, you're going to spit it out. Okay? And if you're watching me, you're going to spit it out on a phone or a computer, something expensive. Okay? So don't even take the chance. I'll warn you before I show you the footage. It is absolutely disgusting. So we got that. Also, poor Biden. Poor Bidenus pervertus. Every time they put that fool behind a microphone and on camera, something is going to happen. And they say, never say never. Okay? I'm going to say never right now. Biden never gets it right. He never has a complete speech. Never. He never has a good speech. He never has a good experience when holding a microphone or when standing at a podium. And neither do we. You think it's bad for you, Grandpa in Chief? It is worse for us to watch you do that, to watch you flounder. Ugh. But that poor little bastard, he finally apologized, though. He finally saw the error, the many errors in his ways, and he apologized. I know. And again, I have proof because you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But he apologized, thankfully. And Kanye squares off with Chris Cuomo. I had to think for a second. Chris who? Chris what, Mo? What'd you say? Because I hadn't heard that name in a long time. Remember, he got fired from CNN because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. And because I think that was part of it, but the death knell was him helping out his brother because his brother definitely couldn't keep his hands to himself. He was Governor Tits and Ass. He's like, hey, what do you mean? I'm an Italian. That's how we do. We talk with our hands. Guys, I shake their hand, kiss them on the cheek. Ladies, I grab your tits and ass. I'm Italian. That's what he said. But because of that, they let him go, and his brother was covering up for him because he worked at CNN. He was kind of like, oh, no, let's not talk about that. Let's not. Letting his brother know what's coming down the pipe, investigations, insider information. You can't do that. So they let Chris Cuomo go, and I was like, where did he go? Well, he popped up on somewhere called News Nation, I think it's called. And yeah, never heard of it. But he somehow nailed down an interview with Kanye West. And Kanye West ended up telling him, la, 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 la. Anytime an adult tells another adult, la, 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 I'm there. I support you. But he said some interesting things, and I have some interesting things to say about his interesting things. And then there's this thing called it's a Ulta podcast. Ulta, I guess, is women's makeup. Ladies, you would know better than me. And women are boycotting Ulta because they had two Ku Klux trans members on there, two guys that dressed themselves as ladies, peddling the product, talking about their experiences as women and that they want to have children in the future. Yes, two dudes said that. Two men said that, and only men because they have penises, and no other way are they men. I doubt either one of them have a firm handshake, and I'm sure they both don't like action movies, and they have an affinity for penis. So that excludes you. Anyway, so these guys were on there. I got a video of that too. It's funny, sad, enraging. It's a lot of things. But we're going to watch that shit too. And Candace Owens, excuse me, hydrate. Candace Owens has that new documentary, The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, where she pulls the layers back. She yanks the sheets off of BLM and shows you where their money came from, and more importantly, where it's going, and what they haven't done for the community, and what they haven't done for George Floyd's family, which is the reason for this whole season called BLM, or if we're being honest, CBLM, certain Black Lives Matter, not all. Don't be ridiculous. And Circle K, if we have time to get to this one, Circle K, yes, the gas station chain will be selling weed starting next year. I mean, they call them convenience stores, so I guess they're taking it to a whole nother level. They're making it one-stop shop, gas, snacks, weed, whatever you need, Circle K has it starting next year. And probably one of the most important things that I'm going to say today, 20 days until midterms. 20 days until the midterm elections. And Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare, she was interviewed by somebody, some idiot, that I can tell that the woman interviewing her was an idiot because she liked Kamala. So therefore, that makes you an idiot. And she said, oh, the midterms are coming up, and are you going to run? Is there going to be a Biden-Harris 2024 ticket? And Kamala said, well, I'm focusing on the midterms right now. That's the most important thing, is the midterms. Uh-oh. You know what that means. And then, of course, she probably followed up with a bunch of But that tells you everything you need to know. That tells you that nobody supports Biden, not even his right-hand woman, not even the lady who called him a racist. You remember during the presidential elections, Biden, you're a racist. You made it so I got bused to school. But now they're co-workers. Never mind all that stuff. And remember when they asked her about it, she said, oh, that was just a debate. That was a debate. I was just saying that. But she's not feeling him. She's not going to run again with him. And if he's not running, she's not. Who the fuck is going to hitch their wagon to Kamala Harris? Other than the idiot who already has it hitched to her. Who? Nobody. So if Biden's done, she's done. Maybe she's mad because she knows the ride is over for her once this term ends. But 20 days until midterms. Also, mygreengear.com. Gear such as this and many more. It says the same as this on my shirt. mygreengear.com, 15% off all green gear for a limited time. And in case you didn't see my YouTube page or my Instagram page, I am now on Truth Social. Yes, they finally made a version for Android, which is what I have. So I am on Truth Social. Truth Social. It's at Jericho Green, no space. It's Jericho Green, nothing in between. All right. So hit me up on there. Let's see. I checked last night after I posted it, and last I had like 70 followers on there. But I'm gonna start posting there. I don't know if Truth Social has the ability. Well, I don't think it does. I think it's just like a Twitter for just posts. But I'm gonna start going off on Truth Social because that seems to be a place where you can say what you want. I will test those waters. So I'm on Truth Social at Jericho Green, and on Instagram at JG Talk. I am 79 followers away from hitting 8,000. Finally. So I'm 79 followers away from hitting 8,000. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram and you feel so inclined, we'll go right ahead. Instagram is a lot of fun. I'm probably going to be kicked off of there soon, but I have a backup page at JG Talk 2. But for right now, at JG Talk, 79 followers away from 8,000. But before we get into all that, before we get into that ass like a bike with no seat, friends, the entire world is experiencing food shortages. Supply chain breakdowns continue to have a domino effect on everything, especially food production. Farmers can't plant as many crops now because of the fertilizer shortages, forced regulations, and high fuel prices. This will cause more painful food shortages when we run out of the food that we're eating now. Food takes time to grow, so when farmers don't plant, months later, we don't eat. That's why you need to prepare for the increasing number of food shortages. And the best way to do this is invest in Ready Hour emergency food from My Patriot Supply. It's a perfect hedge against skyrocketing prices and shortages. Right now, save $50 on a 4-week food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go to preparewithjericho.com and get your $50 savings on a 4-week emergency food kit. And that's an average of 2,000 calories per day. Again, preparewithjericho.com. Those who know what's coming are preparing now. Shouldn't you? Preparewithjericho.com. I see some super chats in here. Who's popping the super chat cherry, huh? No surprise. C4 Duke, thank you. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. I have 2 questions. How young is this girl, and are you sure her world is empty? I'll be her friend. Ugh. Ugh. Do you see that video the other day of him? Some girl, she looked a little old for him. She looked like 13 or something, 14, young girl. And he says, first of all, he's standing behind her. Red flag. Why didn't some yellow flashing light come out of the floor and start spinning like you're in a warehouse and there's a spill on the floor or something? No Biden's behind you. No Biden's behind you. No Biden's behind you. Where was that lady's voice? He's standing behind her and he puts his hand, puts his hand on her shoulder and he says, no serious dating until you're 30. And she says, what was that? I said, no serious men until 30. She's like, I'll keep that in mind. That was gross just watching that shit. Why would you let him? Man, you ain't getting close to my daughter. Behind her, hand on her shoulder. Look, I respect the shit out of the Secret Service, and I bet they're a bunch of bad mofos. But I'm going to have to put that to the test if he puts his hands on my daughter. We're going to find out how on the job Secret Service really is, because you're going to get your fucking hands off my kid, you creepy son of a bitch. Ooh wee. No serious men until 30. She's like, oh, keep that in mind. Get away from me. Poor thing. Poor thing. Oh, my God. Oh, that is the worst, man. Charles Turner Jr., you are now a mod. You've been modded. You've been modded. Oh, my goodness, guys. That was just, that poor kid. That poor kid. So, hold on a second. Let me finish up this here. Pin it. All right, it's been pinned. So first, let's finish up the supers. There we go. Game Hinge Patriot. Thank you for the $17.76. $17.76. What a year. The world is witnessing elderly abuse by the Democrat Party and people who hate Trump. This is madness. It really is. It really is. The video that I'm going to show you where he apologizes, it's more of the same. And this, is it the same video? No, it's a different video. I know where that one is too. I'll show you that one. Where he's leaving the stage and some reporter has a question about the debt forgiveness. And there's a guy he's standing on stage with, and the guy he ends up answering the question for him. But the look on Biden's face when he's just standing there, letting the guy talk. Any president with any balls and half a brain would have been like, I got this. And he would have answered it, but he just stood there, deer in headlights, like an elderly deer. You ever seen an old deer? I don't know. Maybe all the deer get shot or eaten before they get old. But he's like an old deer in headlights. If you listen really close, if you hold a pair of Depends up to your ear, you can hear him saying, that's what he's saying, just standing there. while this guy's talking. And that's, never mind. The Amazing Wong, thank you. JG, did you hear about that first Asian American, Anna Mae Wong, will be featured on the U.S. currency? What's your thoughts? What the? And did you bring this up because you're the Amazing Wong and her name's Anna Mae Wong? I get it. I see what you're doing here. Anna Mae. This better be a damn lie. What the fuck is this? This is from NPR. Anna Mae Wong will become the first Asian American to be on currency. The U.S. Mint will begin shipping coins featuring actress Anna Mae Wong on Monday, the first U.S. currency to feature an Asian American. Dubbed Hollywood's first Asian American movie star, Wong championed the need for more representation and less stereotypical roles for Asian Americans on screen. Wong, who died in 1961, struggled to land roles in Hollywood in the early 20th century, a time of yellow face when white people wore makeup and clothes to take on Asian roles in miscegenation laws. I got to be reading that one wrong. Which criminalize interracial relationships. Okay. What are my thoughts, you ask, Amazing Wong? I will tell you. First of all, stop fucking with the money. Okay? I don't want Harriet Tubman on the money. I don't want Anna, or what's her name? Anna Wong. I can't remember her damn name already. Hold on. Anna Mae Wong. I don't want Anna Mae on there. I don't want Harriet Tubman on there. For a few reasons. Number one, we have our fallen presidents, our dead presidents on our money. Washington, let's go in order. Washington on the one. Was it Jefferson on the two when we had the two? Oh, yeah, twos are still around. I believe it's Jefferson on the two. Correct me if I'm wrong. Lincoln on the 5, Hamilton on the 10, Jackson on the 20, Grant on the 50, and Benjamin Franklin on the 100. That's it. Stop. Don't mess with it anymore. Don't update it, because once you start doing that, look, I bet you there's an article out there where there's backlash of black people saying, how come we aren't on some currency first? Why this Asian actor lady? Stop it. Don't mess with it, because you can't please all the people all the time. Leave it alone. They were our presidents. Leave them on the money. Nobody else. Who the fuck is Anna Mae Wong? I never heard of her until I looked up this article, or until the Amazing Wong said it in the super chat. I had never heard of that woman. And why the Asians? I mean, if we're gonna argue, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, why the Asians? Why not black folks? Weren't we here first? Didn't we go through more in this country than they did? Now, the Asians went through some shit. Putting the railroads in America, that was horrible. Yeah, Asians went through some bad shit. The Japanese in the internment camps during World War II, that was bad. But compared to slavery and Jim Crow, nah, hell no. And Asians, I'm sure they experienced some Jim Crow shit too, because you can tell they're not white. But I would say black folks had a harder plight in this country than Asians. And if we're going to start putting different people on money, which I don't think we should, this is why. But if we're going to start putting other different people on the money other than the founding fathers plus Lincoln, because he wasn't a founding father. But if we're going to start putting other people on the money, then I think if it's going to be other than a white person, I think black folks should be first before Asians. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't think anybody else should be put on the money. That's it. Stop. And another reason is you're not doing this because Anna Mae Wong did something great for this country. And that's another thing. She's an actress. She's not a president. She's an actress. So she didn't do anything great for this country. Why is she on our money? She's an actress. But the only reason they're doing this is to score SJW points, to score woke points, so their woke credit score goes up. They don't give a shit about Asian people being represented on our currency. They don't care about that. They just want to shut them up. Remember all the Asian hate? Hashtag stop Asian hate, all this anti-Asian hate legislation. This is a bone to throw to Asians to shut them the fuck up. They don't give a shit how you're represented. As long as they get more of it, they don't care who's on it. But this is absolute bullshit. Anna Mae Wong. Ridiculous. But starting Monday, she's going to be the new face on your quarter. I can't wait till I get one of those damn quarters. Fuck out of here. Oh, that's so stupid. The face, Asian American. Shut up. Anyway, super chats. Hunter Biden's laptop. Thank you. Hunter was at a drag show. They left some white creamy substances all over him after he got high and fell asleep. I don't doubt that. I'm sure before he did, he was like, hey, make sure you guys don't forget to, before you leave. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and pass out. Wow. That's a trip. Why? Why would you put an Asian person on the quarter? Or the Indians? The Indians had it bad here. How come there's not an Indian on there? I mean, they got a buffalo on the other side of the nickel. I guess that's close. Why don't you put an Indian on there? Well, isn't Sacagawea on the is she on the dollar coin, or is that what's the damn lady who's on the court on the dollar coin? There's just, I mean, if you're going to do it, which I don't think you should, there's other people in line in this country to be on the currency before Asian Americans. Sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Like Asians were done dirty, but come on now. But that's what happens when you get organized. That's what happens when you get organized and you do shit the right way. You get to be on the currency. You're not loud and over emotional and destroying shit. That doesn't get you anywhere. Hold on, I'm getting to these supers. There's a bunch of them. They're all spread out. They're all spread out. You guys are all spread out. Spread them. Anna Mae Wong, what the fuck? All aboard the USS Pander. Oh, it's leaving the harbor. Better hurry up. Nicole Thomas, thank you for the super sticker. For £4.49. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nicole Thomas. Nicole T. Charles Turner Jr., thank you. Some people here might know that the degeneracy of child drag kids are spread to other red states in addition to Texas. In Boise, Idaho, they canceled / postponed a child drag event due to a loss of sponsors. Who was sponsoring that shit, that horrible demonic shit in the first place? Ooh, kids at drags, I'm listening. You want my money? Disgusting. It shouldn't be because of lack of sponsors. It should be because people were saying, that's disgusting and don't you dare. That's why. Arun Faye, thank you for the $5 super sticker. $5. Thank you for the $5. Miss S66, thank you for the £4.49. Thank you for the £4.49. Ranson Shan, thank you. Jericho, I saw a documentary recently on female cops getting overpowered by heartless criminals. Should women be allowed to be police officers? Uh-oh. I have to draw that line in the sand right here. In my honest opinion, like, is this a safe space for honesty where I can like say whatever's in my heart? In all honesty, I would have to say no. And the reason I say that is because I would say only to handle females. Like if there was a way where female cops could only respond to situations with female offenders, I would say yes. But, and you know, there are some tough ladies out there. But compared to a man, no. And I've seen a lot of cops, and I'm not saying, and not through, you know, being arrested or no shit like that. I don't have no record. But I've seen a lot of police officers. You see them a lot just being out, being a regular citizen. And I've been to police events. When I did the ride along, there was a female officer in the meeting room, you know, where they get together and discuss the plan of the day. But I've never seen like a big female officer. Like I've never seen a, you know, 5'10", 5'11" or taller, you know, beefy female police officer. Not to say they don't exist. And I don't mean to piss off any female officers who may be watching or listening. But unless there's a way that they could just respond to calls with female suspects, I don't know. I mean, there are female officers and they're out there doing shit. They go to work every day. They're doing something. But there have been a lot of situations where I just saw a video the other day where a 65-year-old man overpowered a female police officer. She told him to sit on the curb. He said, "I'm not sitting on the curb, motherfucker." That's what he said. And she starts tussling with him, and some citizens had to come over and help him. Now, are there videos of male officers being out there and citizens coming to help them tussling with a suspect? Hell yeah, I've seen plenty of them. But a man has a better chance of handling another man because men are stronger. I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't believe women should fight in combat. If they want to be in a combat support role, yeah. But on the field, fighting the bad guys, shooting, no. I don't agree with that. I think men should be doing that. And I think men should be police officers. And I think male police officers should also be in great shape. You don't got to be ripped and look like an action figure, but you have to be in good shape. Too many videos I've seen with police officers that weigh like 350, 400 pounds. Who the fuck are you going to chase down? Who are you going to wrestle with? Who are you going to take down and cuff? Nobody. Because if the fight lasts more than 10 seconds, you don't got what it takes. So it's not just women, but if we're talking about them specifically, I don't think so. All the female police officers I've seen are pretty petite, not strong at all. And I know some of them probably know tactics and maybe take martial arts and shit like that. But when you're on these calls and people's emotions are running high and you got adrenaline in there and maybe these dudes are on drugs or they don't want to go back to prison, it's going to be all bad. I saw a video where a guy was drunk somewhere. While he's headed home, he commits some kind of crime. He destroyed something or something like that, assaulted somebody, something to where the police were called and the female officer was the first one to show up to his house. And he lived with his mom and he was like 40 years old. Yeah, typical fucking loser. An alcoholic 40-year-old who lives with his mother. He should have been arrested for that. But she shows up first to the scene and she ends up going in the house and she tussles with this guy. And at one point, he had both of her wrists like this, and he's holding her hands down. And he's holding both of her wrists down. This guy wasn't super big, wasn't strong or nothing, but he just didn't give a shit. He was drunk. And because I think she shoved his mom out of the way. His mom was like, "Leave him alone." She should have been arrested too. I'm that 40-year-old loser in your house. But she like shoved him out of the way, and that pissed him off. And he's holding both of her wrists down. And she's a young officer. Do you think he would have been able to do that to a man? No. And so she ends up getting loose. He let her go. She didn't pull herself away. He let her go. She pulls her sidearm and points it at him, gives him commands. Some more tussling happened. She ended up accidentally shooting his mom in the leg, which was hilarious. Shot his mom in the leg on accident. I'm not saying she did that because she's a woman. That shit was just funny as hell. And a male officer shows up and kicks this dude in his chest like he's kicking in a front door. Remember when Leonidas told that dude, "This is Sparta," and kicked him in that pit? That's how he kicked that dude in his chest. He kicked that dude's spirit. If you look closer, you can see that dude's spirit standing next to him with his arm folded, shaking his head. Kicked the shit out of that dude, which was great. He deserved it. But no, I don't think so. Ladies, let me have it in the comment section. I can take it. Tougher than I look. Another super. Tim the Enchanter. Watch out, ladies. You will get enchanted. Thank you. He says, have you watched any of that trial for the scumbag that drove through the parade last year? He said to the judge today, "You think you're slick, huh?" I did talk about that stupid piece of shit, but I don't want to give him too much play. But yeah, I realize this trial's going on, and he took his shirt off one time. He wants to subpoena the entire state of Wisconsin. He's laying on the table with his jacket over his head. He's making a mockery of the entire proceedings. He's a piece of garbage, and we all know what needs to happen to him. But unfortunately, Wisconsin does not have a death penalty. They haven't had one since the 1850s. Shame, because if we got a candidate, he's one. And like I said a few days ago when I talked about it on my live, we do have due process and a justice system and all that shit. But when you got it on tape, you got such a heinous offense on tape, you ran down parade goers, children, and the elderly? Why are we going through this charade? We know you did it. Out, send them to the Middle East. Let them take care of them. Give them an infidel. Arumfe, thank you for the Hamilton. Why are they putting more faces on money? Thought the government was going digital and saying money spreads. Coof. Well, I know what you mean by it. Coof. Apparently not. Again, they don't. Man, this is just to shut the Asian people up. They don't give a damn about representation. They don't even represent us. Jeff Gray, thank you for the Hamilton. Here's a couple of shillings for you and your family, Jericho. Much love from the 707. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. From the 530. That's where I'm at. That's where I be. I'm at where I'm at, and I be where I be. Oh, and to the person who, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but it was in a super chat, and they said the line, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man? And she said, no. Have you? That's from Aliens, because I just saw that scene in the movie. So there. I knew it was familiar because I watched the trailer the other day. I think it was in the trailer. But I got it. Got him. Tim the Enchanter, again. Tim the Enchanter, again. Thank you. He says, I missed a few lives, brother. Thanks. It's all right. You're here now, Tim. Don't worry about that. That's water under the bridge. You are here now. That's all that's important. Careless says, I'm surprised he wasn't out on bail these days. If it wasn't such a high-profile case, he probably would be. Like, if it somehow flew under the radar, I'm sure he would be out on bail. It's not like they're concerned with our safety. Public safety. Remember that? Juggernaut Jumper, thank you. Hi, Jericho. Did you see Creepy Joe double fist punch a young Latina, then go on to hold her hand for over a minute? Gross. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. He double fist punched. I got to see this. Biden punch Latina. What? Wait a minute. See on YouTube, it says Creepy Joe Biden randomly punches Latino girl. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I'm watching it right now. He goes. I got to show you. Hold on. I'll show you. What the fuck? Hold on. Let me write this shit down. So it's not actually like a punch. He's not like, hey, kiddo, like that, you know, a little punch in the arm, but he takes his fist and he goes like this on her face. Oh, it's weird. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Golly, man. Come on, Joe. I'm sitting here, I'm just trying to do a show, man. And you're over here just doing all this wild shit. You're over here just doing wild shit, man. Hold on. Joe is over here doing wild shit. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, hold on. I know I can find it on Google. Biden punch Latina. Oh my goodness gracious, people. I don't think it's gonna. I found it on my phone. For some reason, my phone, uh, like pulls up searches different. If that makes sense. Because when I looked it up on my phone, that was the first thing to pop up. But I look it up here on Google, and it doesn't say anything about it. Yeah, I can't find anything here on the computer, which is weird. But if you're on your phone and you Google Biden punch Latina, it'll pop up on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me see if I can put it there. But I'm just trying to avoid these strikes. You know, these copyright strike bullshit. But I'll look it up on YouTube, see if they got it, because that's where the video was. What a weird thing to look up. Biden punch Latina. Some weird shit. No, I won't bring it up here either. It just brings up when his wife says, "Si se puede. Si se puede." But I'll find it. I'll put it up. I'll find a link to it and put it on my YouTube page. But yeah, he did do that. He goes like this on her cheeks. He's like, "Oh, he's so cute. I could sniff you, sniff your head." He's nice and short too, so he could. So weird, man. So fucking weird. And all these things that we see and all the things that we laugh about him every day, the entire world sees that shit too. Oh my goodness. Justin Desroches, thank you. Much play to you, JG, from Pocahontas, Massachusetts. That's where she is. That's her stomping grounds. That's where she has her wigwam. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? R.I.P. Leslie Nielsen. Damn it, why are you gone? Brendan Gerzalak, thank you, man. He says, sorry I'm late to the stream, JG, but I'm here now. You can stop being sad. I was distraught. I said, who the fuck is Brendan? And then I see you here, so now I can move on. Now I can move on with my life. Finally. Thank you, Brendan, for being here. Thank you all for being here. I wish I could just give you a big cyber hug. Okay, I think that's it for the supers right now. Okay, so let's get to this good gun, shall we? Because it is a good one, a little different. A little different. Good old Florida again. Florida's showing us the way, people. Florida went from meth capital to guiding light. Talk about making a change. All right. Florida homeowner shoots 3 intruders, 2 fatally. 2 for 3. That's not bad. It says a teen was facing charges for a would-be armed home invasion robbery in Florida in which his 2 accomplices were shot and killed, and he was wounded, authorities said. The person who shot them was the homeowner victim who had a gun and used it to defend himself when he encountered the intruders in his home in Wesley Chapel shortly before 1 a.m. Creeping in late night. You know somebody's home at 1 a.m. The victim in this case was exercising his Second Amendment right to protect himself in his home. Noko said, Sheriff Chris Noko. I'm calling him Noko. Sheriff Chris Noko. Luis Casado, 21, and Kyle Durham, 21, were shot as they walked down a narrow hallway toward the homeowner, the sheriff said. They had guns and covered their faces with black masks. So they weren't just there to rob and take things. They were there to hurt and kill, because why else would you bring a gun to a home invasion? Jeremiah Trammell, 19, was shot after Casado and Durham went down, Noko said. He said he ran out of the house as the homeowner went, I love this part, as the homeowner went to get another gun to replace the one he had because it jammed. The homeowner wasn't done. He said, I got 2, but I want 3. Trammell was admitted to a hospital for treatment of gunshot wounds. Now, there's another favorite part coming up. Noko said Casado and Durham, the 2 deceased robbers, were extremely violent criminals. He said Trammell had a previous arrest for battery and other charges. So these were seasoned pieces of shit. He said the shooting happened after the homeowner heard glass shatter and grabbed a gun. He was home alone playing video games. The sheriff said the homeowner believes he may have been targeted because of his gun collection, which he had displayed on social media. Not smart. The investigation also revealed that the homeowner had some sort of relationship with Trammell, Casado, and Durham that involved some type of known entity, Noko said. Can't trust everybody that smiles in your face. It says Trammell was charged with home invasion and robbery, and he also was charged with murder for the deaths of Casado and Durham during the commission of another crime. Good. Some states are like that. I don't think California is. If it is, let me know. But I don't think it is. But if somebody dies, like when you're like this, you break into somewhere or you're trying to rob somebody, you're committing a crime, your boys get shot and killed, whoever's left, they get charged with their murder instead of the person who actually shot them, which is great. But I'm trying to, did I miss a part? Oh yeah, I skipped over a sentence. This is the part I was talking about. Noko said Trammell didn't get far. A neighbor with a gun caught him and then held him until the deputies arrived. You talk about a tight-knit community. He said, don't worry about it, neighbor. I got you. Thanks for putting my trash cans out last week. I got this one. Hold your punk ass up right there. And don't bleed on my grass. Good for them. Good for them. That is a very good gun there. That neighbor said, I got you, man. You think State Farm's a good neighbor? No, that is a good neighbor. He said, don't worry, I got him at gunpoint till they get here. And don't you move. Son of a bitch. He took down 2. Now, Black Star says, I don't mind showing off my gun collection. Barrel first. And Dynamite says vigilante justice. I think that was a case of forced vigilante justice. That dude was just up playing Call of Duty, and then they broke into his house. That's what you get. But I think in a lot of these cases, and I would say most of them, these people, they're left with emotional scars. There's probably seriously some form of PTSD where you're forced to kill somebody. How much more out of harm's way do you have to be than sitting inside your own home playing video games at night? You're not out in public. There's no one else there. That guy didn't want any problems, obviously. But the problems came to him. The problems broke in his house. And he had to do that. And I'm sure these people are traumatized by this, by having to kill somebody in their own home. What if they can't walk down that hallway anymore? What if they have to move? And the police, they don't clean up everything. They take the bodies away. You either have to clean up the mess yourself or hire somebody to do it. I knew somebody who had a boyfriend. This was senior year of high school, maybe senior year of high school. And there was a big party, and her boyfriend went in her bedroom and shot himself in the head right in the middle of the party. And either her mother, because her parents were divorced, she lived with her mother. Either her mother didn't know about these services, the police didn't tell her, or maybe they were too expensive and she couldn't afford it. I don't know. But they had to clean up the mess themselves. The mother had to go in there. She had to because her closet door was open and her friend's jacket was hanging in her closet. She had to give her friend's jacket to her with blood stains on it. Her mom had to go in there and clean her daughter's boyfriend's brains off the ceiling and off of the bedspread and all the horrible shit that comes along with that. So the cops don't say, hey, we're going to go ahead and clean all this up, cut the carpet out, whatever they have to do. The homeowner is responsible for that. So there's a lot of trauma that comes with this shit when you have to lay somebody down in your house. So for you to visit that upon them, and not only that, but the feeling of being violated, the feeling of not being safe in your own home anymore. So not only are you breaking into their home and forcing you to shoot them, but you're having this ripple effect throughout the rest of their life. So it's not just bang, bang, it's done, the cops are gone, let me get back to playing my video game. That dude probably didn't sleep that night. But hey, at least he has an opportunity to sleep again. And those other guys, they'll be sleeping forever. And I see some comments in here. You guys are very play, Stanley Steamer and whatnot. But yeah, you have to hire people to come in and do it. I saw a documentary about this mother-son team. That's all they did. They went around cleaning up crime scenes and death scenes, I guess. What's up, Whitney Bosler? You're good as long as you're here now. Like one case, it was in Florida. They lived in Florida. Summertime. They did a wellness check on this guy they hadn't seen in a couple weeks, and he had died, and he had been laying in his bed with the windows closed in Florida summer heat for 3 weeks. He liquefied, melted through the mattress, melted into the floor. They had to take a skill saw and cut out the floorboards, the flies that were inside. Oh, it was disgusting. So there are people who go out this, and they were busy. While they're cleaning up one body, her pager or cell phone is going off for another call, because there are not a lot of businesses that do that. So if you're looking for a niche business without a lot of competition, you can also always get into crime scene cleanup. Just have a strong stomach. And then Suze, I'm sorry. She says, bro, I'm eating lunch right now. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's a very niche business. Not a lot of people. It followed a few people, and one of the people that they follow was a husband-wife team. And they talked about a case where they had a dad kill his family, shoot the dog, and then shot himself. And they had like 3 kids. And one of the kids was a kid that they had the same age as their kid. So, yeah, be prepared for that too. Joyce Decker says, I had to put ice on a corpse at a nursing home. Yeah, it gets crazy. It gets pretty crazy. Let's see. Whitney Bosler says, I had a friend who worked for a company who cleaned up stuff like that. He had to go out of town to learn how to clean up crime scenes and like from suicides and shit. He said it was crazy AF. Yeah. It's pretty gruesome. There was another one where this father, they were downstairs eating dinner, and he went upstairs and put a 12 gauge in his mouth. And when they were cleaning it up, they had to move the furniture, and they found like a piece of his skull with hair on it behind the TV. A tooth was somewhere. Like, you really have to clean up well, because you don't, then, the flesh will be there. It'll be rotting. It'll stink. You have to come back. And the family, will be re-traumatized because the cleanup crew has to come back. I mean, it's all bad. So they really had to be thorough. It's crazy. Leaky bag of meat. Okay. Said, I got to pick up body parts of bombers in Iraq. Yeah, man, it's nasty business, man. It really is a nasty business. We picked up a dead body out of the water on the way to the United Arab Emirates one time. Granted, it wasn't body parts, but it was a dead body. And I'm glad you made it back, man. Thank you for your service. Hope you weren't too mentally scarred by that. Tim Pavlov says, you never forget the smell. Yeah, man, I'll never forget the smell of that dead body. You might have smelled the dead body of an animal, a dog or something that got ran over, something like that, but ain't nothing like a human body. It's quite different. It's quite different. Oof. Heidi Bloom says, my dad was head of risk management for a construction company, and a lady fell in front of a steamroller. You can imagine. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's all bad, man. We'll just end it on that. It's all bad. It's gross. But moving on to something it's gross, not that kind of gross, but it's still very gross, is all ages drag show. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and pull that up. I'm not going to be appalled by myself. You guys are going to be appalled with me. I mean, ugh. And you'll notice that there looks like all women. I don't see any men in there. You can see like a little bald head closer to the camera, but I think that just might be a woman, but it's all women. There's another woman, a black woman with a really short haircut too. I'm sorry, there's a dude. There's one guy in the back, got a beard, you piece of shit. And there's probably a 5-year-old girl standing behind the drag stripper. And I only say stripper because they're not taking their clothes off, thankfully. No dicks flopping out, but they're doing stripper moves. They're dropping it like it's hot, bending over and all this gross shit. And it's all mostly women in there. Not all. There's a man in there from what I can see. There's some of the frame that's not there, but it's mostly women. And you'll see the women behind the dancer. They look slightly grossed out, mostly confused. But I don't give them a pass because they didn't stand up, grab their daughter, and walk the fuck out of there as soon as it happened. Why didn't any of those women do that? My mom, and I hope this is true for my mom's generation. If my mother was there, my mother would stand up and say, hey, turn this off. There's kids in here. I don't want to hear that. My mom would do that. When my daughter was, maybe a year or so, we were at the park near my house where we lived at the time. And I was with my mom and my daughter, and there were some teenagers, and they walked by with their fucking pants hanging down around their ass. You can see their underwear. It's disgusting. And my mom says, hey, pick your pants up. I don't want to see your underwear. I'm like, Mom, at least give me a heads up. You know, if they get mouthy or something, I'm going to have to step in. But my mom don't play that shit. And there's no way she would sit there and allow this to. Number one, the music. That's where my mom would have a problem, that filthy rap music. She hates it. And in this song, you'll hear they say pussy over and over again. My pussy good. My pussy's good enough to eat. My pussy will make you leave your wife. Listening to this disgusting music in front of that child. Grown-ups, I don't give a shit about you. But that kid and you punk-ass women who are there allowing that shit to be pumped into that little girl's head, because that's the kind of music you want to play for little girls. Music about their vagina and what they should do with it and who they should give it to frivolously. Just hand it out like a business card. It's a business vagina. Just hand it out. Leave a stack of them there for anybody to take. Golly, man, what the fuck is going on here? My pussy good, my pussy sweet, my pussy good enough to eat. That's what she says. Look at the idiots right there dancing. Handing her money. Look at the ones laughing, handing her money. The black women, like a bunch of jackasses. She said, right pussy, tight pussy, make you leave your wife pussy. Look at that little girl. What is she, 4? 3 or 4? And these wenches are sitting there with her and not grabbing her and walking the hell up out of there. Ugh. What? What the fuck was that? Ew. In front of that little kid. I can't do it. I cannot listen to that music in front of a child. That is vulgar. And since when did we accept this shit on a societal scale? There's at least 15 women in frame. Again, you can't see the rest of them. Ed Rock, he says, what did I just see? I was going to ask you guys the same question. What did I just see? Pussy good, pussy sweet, pussy good enough to eat. Tight pussy, right pussy, fuck you all night pussy. Make you leave your wife pussy in front of that child, in front of that little girl. And we all know children are like sponges, so she's soaking it up. Now, I don't advocate violence against women. Okay? I don't believe in men hitting women. So I would like to see a woman, some big old Marsha Warfield looking woman, some Queen Latifah from Set It Off looking woman to go in there. If she did, I'm just saying hypothetically, if a big ass woman like that went in there and slapped the taste out of all those women's mouths who are nodding their empty heads to this bullshit, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all. What happened? What happened to that older generation being disgusted by this? There's a bunch of old ass women in that frame, 50 plus. I'm not saying 50 plus is old. There was a really old lady back there. But there are a bunch of seasoned women in there, old enough to know that this shit is disgusting and children shouldn't be hearing it. Again, if it was a room full of adults, hey, you got horrible taste in music, but I could give a shit. But there's a little girl in there. And was it the only little kid? That's just the only one we saw. Again, there are posters. You can see a poster in the background. Lou Maldonado, it's Plano, Texas is where it was. You can see the poster in the background advertising these drag queens coming in there. So let me tell you this. If I walk into a restaurant or any other establishment, but for the purposes of this video, it was a restaurant. If I walk into a restaurant and I see posters advertising drag queens dancing there, that's when I turn to my family and say, huh, yeah, let's get out of here. But daddy, I'm hungry. We will eat somewhere else. I would rather feed you out of a dumpster than pay for the food in this sick, disgusting establishment. Because that poster lets me know, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Thank you for letting me know before I sat down and wasted my time. Thank you. I'm not supposed to be here. Damn sure not supposed to be here with my kids. Huh? That is fucked up. That's child abuse. What are you doing? And not even to mention the drag queen himself. How do you do this shit in front of kids? Are you that soulless that you would dance like this so provocatively in front of children? Why do we even have to say this shit out loud? That shit is gross, man. That fool needs to get caned. They need to send him over to Singapore, 1994. Remember that shit? You damn right, Ingrid De La Rosa, the newest American citizen. This is evil. That's all it is. Sometimes you got to boil it down to good and evil. And this damn sure ain't good. So what else could it be? Arun Faye, thank you again. They're after your kids. Yep, that's their end goal. That's the ultimate kink. That's the ultimate taboo. Are the youngsters, the children. They want to diddle the little. And what's standing between them and their goal? Us. That's all. That's all. No backup is coming. There's no cavalry. It's us. You think the state or federal government has your back? Nope. Not unless you're a Ku Klux Trans member. Because I didn't hear the president come out and say, American citizens, parents, I have your back. People who don't want this shit propagated to our children, I have your back. He didn't say that. What he said was, Ku Klux Trans members, I have your back. Look it up. It was what, Transgender Acknowledgement Day or some shit? That's whose back he has, not yours. He has that drag queen's back, not yours. It's us. That's it. The cavalry is us. So if we fail, there's nobody to stand between us or between them and our kids. Nobody. Nobody's coming. This is Black Hawk down. You guys are stuck until reinforcements come, and that won't be for a long time. What the absolute hell is going on here? What the? And there's a video out there from a drag queen who is saying, we don't want your kids there. There are things going on where we perform that your kids don't need to see. There's drugs, there's sexual activity. We don't want your kids there. Keep them home. Get your virtue signal point some other way. So not all drag queens believe in this shit. That's right, April. 20 days left until midterms. That was really, 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 really disgusting. The words in front of that. Come on, dog. That was foul. And then women sitting there, what the ladies? Aren't you supposed to be the smarter sex? Aren't you supposed to keep us away from shit like this? Those women were just foul. I bet all of their vaginas are dirty. If you would sit there and allow this to happen, your vagina is a health hazard. Heidi Booth, was that Steve? Probably. He's probably there with his mom. His mom is probably the old one sitting there. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, pussy. You hear this kid? Turn up. Hey, let's put that kid closer to the speaker. So you can really get that shit. Yeah. There you go, kid. I know you don't understand any of this, but it's subconsciously planting seeds in your mind. Wow. Wow. Ooh, that was some horrific shit there. Moving on. Oh, why don't we go from one crazy thing to another? Huh? We're in the jungle of crazy, so why don't we swing from one vine to another? Huh? Why not? Oh, man. So check this shit out. So Ulta is a makeup company for women, or it used to be, because women are the ones who wear makeup, right? So they had these two Ku Klux trans members on here talking some crazy ass shit, man. You got to hear it. And now the women are boycotting. Good for you, ladies. This shit is foul.
Now I know I can find love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day. And I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still has a long way to go, because when I was grieving Boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
Ooh, I'm sorry. What the fuck did he just say? He said,
now I know I can find love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day. And I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still...
He said, I want to be a mom someday, and I totally can. What? Oh. Now let's break down this, what we're looking at. Those are two men. You can tell, number one, because they got big ass wide shoulders like a man. The dude on the left has a beard. The one on the right is completely flat chested like a man would be. And imagine this kid that he wants to have someday. Imagine what that kid is going to be like. Imagine what the home life for that kid is going to be. Now, let me ask you this. If you had somebody with severe mental handicaps, severe mental disabilities, like somebody with Down syndrome or autism who's low functioning, because there are people who are high functioning who have autism or Asperger's or Down syndrome who can lead normal lives, very successful lives. I'm talking about low functioning, so people who have severe mental issues. Would you give them a kid? Would you? We know people. My wife worked with kids with special needs for more than 20 years. And no, that's not why she fell in love with me. But she worked with kids with special needs. I'm talking highest of high functioning to the lowest of low functioning. Some of the kids in the last job she had were just atrophied, laying on a gurney. They couldn't move, they couldn't speak. But some of them would just yell and scream and hurt themselves, and they'd run out of the room or they run out of the classroom. Call them runners. Or they have the mentality of a 5-year-old in a 14, 15-year-old's body. Somebody with those type of mental issues, would you give them a child? Would you give them a child, and then if they were a man, they tried to put their breast in the kid's mouth to breastfeed? Would you think that's okay? Would you hashtag love is love? Would you? Would you be okay with sending that baby home, that child home, with somebody who had severe mental issues? No, you wouldn't. Because you would be concerned for the safety of that child, wouldn't you? So I asked you this. Why in the hell would you send a child home with this?
Still has a long way to go, because when I was grieving Boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
Huh?
Now I know I
Why
can
would you
find
send a
love.
baby home
I
with this?
know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day, and I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still has
and this bearded fuckface across from him is like, oh, go on. I'm intrigued. Vasectomies from both. You fellas can either take one voluntarily or we will hold you down. If you wouldn't send somebody, a baby, home with somebody with severe mental issues, then why would you send them home with this? It's the same thing. It may not manifest itself physically. They don't have twisted limbs, or they don't look a certain way, but there's a problem in there. I want to be a mom someday, and I totally can. And somebody would totally let this dumbass take a child home. Because now if you say something about it, you're a phobe or you're an ist. Call me whatever you want. This shit is sick, and that crazy son of a bitch does not need to have a child's well-being placed in his care. He just does not. Look at him.
a long way to go, because when I was grieving Boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even.
Look at these fools. When I was grieving Boy Dylan. Then there's another video where this dude is talking about, this is day 75 of me living like a girl, and I bought some tampons and maxi pads. And on the tampons, it says S, M, and L. I thought that stood for small, medium, and large, the size of your hoo-ha, whatever you said for a vagina. But no, it's actually for your flow. You know that little about women, and you are one, and you want to be a mom someday? I totally can. That shit was gross. I totally can. Yeah, Barbie pocket. Thanks, Dent Machine Company. That's what you say, your Barbie. I didn't know. I thought it was for the size of your Barbie pocket. You know who I want to talk to? Not him. Ugh. I want to talk to his father. And I want to beat his father around the ears and mouth for doing that. You did that to that boy. Were you not there? What did you do to him? Did something happen? Find who did that to that man and and have them punished. Because you don't turn out like that unless somebody did something to you. That's not a normal person that lived a normal life. Something happened to that dude. And that's unfortunate and that's sad. And I wish we could find them and strap them to an electric chair and let little Dylan there pull the switch. I wish we could. But one thing we can't do is act like this shit is okay and this is normal. I want to be a mom someday, and I totally can. Who told you that, Dylan? Who lied to you? Holy shit. Ed Rock, thank you. Imagine someone waking up from a coma of many years and having to explain all this nonsense that's been happening. Could you explain it? I think as they're coming out of the coma, you would have to strap them to the bed, because when you start explaining that to them, they would jump up and try to jump out the window. You would have to turn on the TV to show them, no, I'm not kidding. No, I'm not making this up. No, this isn't the most disgusting joke ever created. This is real life. This is America. This is your country now. You fell asleep during Bush and you woke up during Biden. Shit. I've got a lot to explain. Believe me, I'm not lying to you. The things that are about to come out of my mouth are the truth. I have visual aids to show you. You'd be like, why is that dude? Is that a kid back there? Why is that man dancing like that in front of that kid? I know. It's normal now. They read to him in libraries. They go to schools. What? Holy shit. Is that the United States Army? Yeah. Why is all that shit rainbow? What happened? Well, it's Pride Month now. What? White pride? They believe in we support racism? No, not white pride. Gay pride. Month? So they have a month now. Well, they kind of have two. 2 months for what? Well, one of them, June, is Pride Month, and then October is their Heritage Month. Heritage? Well, why would they talk about them and not everybody's contributions to this country? I know. But here's another crazy thing. All right. You remember the grandpa on The Simpsons? Yeah, that show's hilarious. Don't tell me The Simpsons are off the air. No, they're still on the air. But their grandpa is president. You're lying. Yeah, let me read one of his quotes. Or let me show you one of his quotes. Renadin Defit. But that's not a word. I know, but that's what he said. In front of who? The world. What world? This one. What? Now, believe what I'm about to tell you. He couldn't walk upstairs. No way that the president, he fell 3 times. Is this real? It is. It's not Photoshop. What's Photoshop? Never mind. Something on the internet now. Social media. Social what? I know. Well, you can say what you want on there as long as it's what they want you to say. Wait a minute. I'm confused. Yes, it's a social media platform, and you can go on there and say what you want, but it has to be what the left wants you to say. If not, they'll kick you off. So they got rid of the Constitution. No, we still have the Constitution. It's just that they shit on it. But you can't shit on the Constitution. It's inalienable. I know. Trust me, man. You've been sleeping through a lot of crazy shit. Imagine explaining that to someone. It would take you days. Game Hinge Patriot, thank you again. These people pretend things to be true, and they're not. They demand we live in their false realities. The same with Biden voters. This is madness. Yes, it is. But we have to be that breaker wall between that tsunami and the people on land, aka our kids and our future. Imagine that. Eagle Warrior says we need Judge Dredd. I say, Eagle Warrior, we need Dredd, because Judge Dredd was the one with Stallone and Rob Schneider, and it was kind of funny. Dredd, that was not funny. He was all business. That's the one we need. The one with, what's his name? Carl Urban. He played the shit out of that. I love that movie. Dredd, not the one, like I said, not the one with Sylvester Stallone. I am the law. Not that one. The one, I think they remade it in 2012 with Carl Urban. That one's a shit. Eileen J, thank you. Is it a prerequisite to sound like a purse just fell out of his mouth? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm glad you asked. I mean, yeah, man. Ed Rock explaining this to somebody in a coma. Hope you got time, because they're going to have a lot of questions. A lot, especially when we get to the last 5 years. I mean, they're just going to be like, wait, put me back in a coma. But why? If this is the kind of world that they've created, put me back in a coma now. I'll intubate myself. Can't blame them, can you? Cannot blame them. I'm going to be a mom one day, and I totally can't. Oh, God. No, you totally can't, you fucking weirdo. Oh, and let's see, tomorrow. So I can't do it tonight because I got to finish watching Aliens. And then I'm going to be on Double Impact. So I can't watch it tonight. But tomorrow, I'm going to watch The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, the new Candace Owens documentary about CBLM. I'm going to watch that shit tomorrow night, and I will give you a full review. Mopar Girl, thank you. Girl Dylan definitely has an engine light, 9 codes, and 5 misfires going on. At least. That dude is fucked over and out. And the only person who's worse than him is the fool sitting across from him. Quiet, like everything this dude says makes sense. That is literally a bearded lady. There was a time when that fool would have been under a circus tent and people would have paid money to laugh at him and throw rotten food. Now he has a podcast and he's sitting across from an equally crazy freak. What the? Oof. I mean, Branson Shan again, thank you. When a company tries doing a PSA for addressing mental health, someone should show them drag shows and leftist rallies and ask if those are examples. Those are prime examples. Addressing mental health. We have plenty of candidates whose mental health need addressing, but you don't. You try to make it seem like we have problems. We're fine. We don't tuck our dick and stand in front of the mirror and say, I'd fuck me. They do. That dude just said he wants to be a mom, and he can. And you tell me I got the problem? Shit. Get out of here, man. Where's that rope when you're on a bus and you pull it to let them know to let you off? Golly. Anyway, guys. Can we laugh a little bit? Laugh/cry. Don't forget I'm on Truth Social at Jericho Green. No space, just Jericho Green, one word. Also, mygreengear.com, 15% off all green gear for a limited time. So, Biden apologizes, but it might not be the apology that you were looking for. But he does say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like he's so old that you can hear it. You ever heard somebody be old? That's him. Sorry, guys. Let me focus here. Oh shit. Okay. Check this out. Oh no, wrong one. Hold on. This one.
God protect our troops. Thank you. I'm sorry. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You sure are. You sure are.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. I'm sorry. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. I'm sorry.
What were you gonna? And he shakes his head like, God, I'm an idiot. That shit is gross. And he's at a pro-abortion rally, and the signs in the back say "Defend choice." Restore Roe, and all this shit. And it's extra weird because it's women back there. Like, that's one of the things that sets you apart from men, is that you can give birth. And you're up there shouting down your power. That's like Superman being back there saying, take my ability to fly, take my speed, take my eye lasers, take my super breath. Take all that shit from me. Those are your superpowers, women. You make babies. No one else can do that. I don't give a fuck what the blue check marks tell you. You're the only ones who can do that. And these women are up there giving it away. Defend choice. You got more choices than any other woman on this fucking planet. Restore Roe. Like Reagan said, it's funny how all the pro-abortion people have already been born. Would you be so pro-abortion if you were still inside your mother's overused crevice? Fucking disgusting.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry too, Sloppy Joe. And God protect our troops. I'm sorry. Were you saying sorry to the troops? They deserve an apology for sure. Golly, man. I'm sorry. Did they turn the page to the next part of the teleprompter and you started reading tomorrow's speech, you idiot? That shows you that man is a robot. Everything he says is scripted and he still can't get it right. And then to Nicole Thomas, to ruin that song by Jackie Wilson. I love that song. God, what a... Lisa Battiato. Biden brains are mush. I mean, at least mush people can eat. You know, back in the day, poor people had cold mush, cold gruel. At least you can get some sustenance off of that. The Pleminator. There's a bomb in there. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. And guess who's holding the handbasket? Like this. Satan, I brought you the world. Where are those children you promised me if I sell them out? You know why he goes? You know why his eyes are like? Because he sees the Grim Reaper there. Not yet. Not yet, fucker. He said, God protect the troops. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. You should be, liver spotted son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. James Bateman, he's 200 years old. I'll see your 200 years and raise you another 520 because he said he was in the Senate for the last 720 years. He said it, not me. SNL, comedians, comedy writers for shows, especially sketch shows. This is the easiest time you've ever had in your life because you could do a program every week. And I mean every damn week, just off of the shit he messes up on. Never, not even Bush. You know, they used to drag Bush through the damn mud. They used to rake his globalist ass over the coals for the shit he would say. Terror. He would mess up all the time, but not as bad as this dude. That's the only thing Bush did better than Biden, is he spoke a little bit better. And that's not saying much. Because we were wondering if he was borderline retarded too. But this guy, the one we got now, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. I joke around and say there's a dead mouse in his head, but there might be. Can't be a living mouse. A living mouse will make better decisions than that. There just might be a deceased rodent inside of his head based off of what we see, not what we hear. Not what's on the rest, not some foreign news corporation's website. We see this shit for ourselves every single day on American soil. Oof. Nico Giorgio, all retired and shit. Thank you. He says, just a reminder, hit that like button. Americans, NYPD Brooklyn cops, active and retired. Love you, JG. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the law enforcement out there, damn it. Thank you for doing what you do. Because nobody ever says, 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, what's up? I got a wet t-shirt contest and I need some cops to come over and judge the titties. They don't get called for that kind of shit. So it's always something bad. Someone's getting murdered. Somebody's already murdered. Someone's beaten. They got to pick up some baby from the squalor on the floor in their mom's crack house. Just fucked up shit like that. So thank you guys for putting on the uniform despite all the bullshit and doing what you do. Because I tell you one thing, if I have to call 911, I don't want a social worker to show up. That's for damn sure. Golly, he said, I'm sorry. Fuck. I mean, you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You have to. Jeb Bocephus says they prop him up and spoon feed him butterscotch pudding if he reads a sentence correctly. Then he's not eating a lot of butterscotch pudding. Because if it's based on his verbal performance, he's going to be underweight and emaciated very soon. Because he can't handle the sentences. Maybe they need to break them up 3 words at a time. I mean, invalid account says, is he related to Cosby? I don't know. At least Cosby was targeting grown women. So, my goodness, man. Oof. He said, I'm sorry. And also, like I mentioned before, Circle K, the gas station, is going to be selling weed next year. They partnered with some weed company, and I think they're starting with 10 locations in Florida, and they're going to start selling bud. So you can get a fill up and go inside and get a sack, huh? But if the gas prices stay like they are, you're going to get high twice. Pay them high-ass gas prices, then you can go in there and buy some shit to get you high. Hopefully you forget about the prices you just paid. Florida, I don't know, man. Is that good? I mean, shit. They sell alcohol at Circle K's. You know, they sell beer. Maybe beer and wine. I don't know if they sell hard liquor, but they sell alcohol. So why not sell bud? That's always been my argument for weed, and not for it, but just saying if you're selling alcohol, then how can you not sell weed too? There are bad things about weed, but nobody has ever been sitting in a police station saying, when my daddy comes home, he smokes a blunt and beats mommy. That's never happened. Weed hasn't torn any families apart. Will you just stop it? You're fucking smoking. Never. Now, if your dad gets too high, will he ravage the pantry and eat all your snacks for school? Yeah, but that's never traumatized anybody. My team ate all my goldfish. That's never happened. So as long as you're selling alcohol, guess you got to sell bud too, because alcohol is far more damaging than alcohol. Or wait a minute. Alcohol is far more damaging than weed. That's what I meant to say. Mitchell McNeely says it's not marijuana, it's hemp. Well, hemp, that's the shit they make clothes and ropes out of. Let me pull the article up. Here, pull it up over here. Let's pull it up. Circle K weed. Maybe I should have typed in marijuana. Not this one. One of those websites where they make you subscribe to read it. No, thanks. Here we go. CNN.com, a trusted news source. Okay. Circle K gas stations are adding a new product for convenience pickup. Weed. Okay. New York. Next year, when customers in Florida pick up a soda, chips, and a candy bar when they load up for gas at Circle K gas station stores, they'll be able to add another new item, licensed medical weed. So it's medical. So are there so many Floridians with medical weed cards that they got to start putting them in gas stations? Circle K, a Canadian convenience store and gas station operator, is teaming up with a leading cannabis packaged goods company, Green Thumb Industries, to sell marijuana at a limited number of locations in 2023. The rollout of the pilot will begin in 10 locations where Green Thumb will set up its Rise Express dispensaries adjacent to the Circle K convenience stores. Circle K has 600 locations. So it's not going to be in the Circle K. It'll be Circle K adjacent. Customers can buy a number of cannabis products, including flower, smokable cannabis buds, pre-rolls, gummies, and vapes at the dispensary. So it's a dispensary. Here, let me share the screen so you guys can see it. Because there's a little picture of what it's going to look like with the little Circle K in the bud store. See that? Yeah, there we go. Well, not that. Not the 10% off. I want to see that. That. So it'll be like, there's a Subway sandwich where it's connected to the McDonald's, the gas station and the place next to it. It says the opening of Rise Express stores at Circle K locations is a game changer. Convenience is a strong channel in retail, and people want more access to cannabis. Green Thumb CEO Ben Culver, I thought I was going to say bend over, said in a statement, the new Rise Express model is a huge step forward in making it easier and more efficient for patients to purchase high-quality cannabis as part of their everyday routine when stopping by their local convenience store. So, I don't know. I sense some bullshit there. Maybe they're just starting out with, just like it did in California, where it had to be medical for you to get it, and then it became recreational. So, of course, I'm sure it's going to become recreational at some point, because there aren't that many medical marijuana card holders in the state of Florida to where they just don't have access to weed. We got to put them in the Circle K. Like eventually they're going to have it like a regular dispensary where anybody can go in there and get any bud they want. And hopefully they have armed guards out there because somebody's going to try to rob that shit. Because until it's federally legal, they can't put that money in banks and it's all cash. So good luck with that. But hey, Circle K, little gas and then a little gas, right? Because that's what the kids call strong weed now. That's that gas. Whatever. Yeah, a lot of places is still a med card for now. But it'll become recreational pretty soon. Just let that money start flowing. Let them start making money off of the taxes and shit like that, and it'll become recreational. Again, that's what happened in California. I told you, California is a petri dish. They try that shit here first, and then it's coming to a theater near you. Pretty soon, every state's going to have recreational bud. Once you see the money they can make from it, the taxes on weed is through the roof. And what do they love more than anything? What do they love more than us? Money. Every time. Money wins. Money wins everything. This white privilege shit, get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. Give a damn about no white privilege. It's green privilege. It's about that money. Justice system, it don't matter what you're talking about. If you got money, you're fine. It ain't about no fucking color. It's not about people of color. That's why we're doing away with. That's why we're doing no bail system. It's not about people of color. It's about money. Because if you got money, it doesn't matter if you have bail. You'll pay that shit and get out. You got the kind of money where your lawyers show up for you. You don't got to worry about shit. Dumbasses. Matthew Polak. That's not right. Polak says, I love green. Me or Bud? I think you're talking about me. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you. I love you too, man. Max says, you catch any of that Drink Champs, that Yay Drink Champs interview, Jericho? I did. I caught part of it. I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but fuck the Drink Champs. They took the video down. They took the interview down. So there's a bunch of punks. You got all these rappers on there talking about all this crazy shit, promoting their music that's just about violence and destruction. But Kanye West says something not bad about Jewish people, and you take that shit down. Weak. And then Nori went on the Hot 97. It was like, oh, I regret doing it. You're such a bitch. You're such a bitch, Nori. You should have kept that shit up. So you don't care about them talking about the destruction of the black community. But as soon as they talk about Jewish people, somebody upstairs leaned on your punk ass and now you removed it. What a bitch. I'm gonna talk about that on the video. I'm gonna do a video for my YouTube page, and then I'm gonna do one for my website today. So be on the lookout for that shit. None your business. He apologized to. He did an interview with Pierce Morgan, and I saw it. He was saying that he apologizes to the people that he hurt. I'll have to watch the whole thing. I'm gonna watch the whole thing so I can, give an educated opinion on it. Because I would hope he wouldn't apologize. Why? And why'd you say it? But again, I'll watch the whole thing and we'll talk about it. Always some wild shit going on here. Today's no different. Tomorrow won't be either. And I hope you're right here. So that's where we're going to end it, guys. Pierced organ. New age leper. Yeah, Pierce Morgan, he's a bitch too. He had his moments, but he's a punk. So yeah. Great live stream today. You were great. I was great. We were great. Thank you to everybody in the comment section, comments, questions, donations, whatever. Whether you were watching and listening or just watching, which would be weird, but whatever. There are 8 billion people on this planet. You decide to hang out with this one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'm getting here with my beautiful wife and kids. Homework time, and my son has soccer practice. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to be busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Say it with me. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and mygreengear.com. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.